Welcome to Faith and Sustainability, a podcast where we look deeper into how our faith traditions inspire us to care for our common home. I'm your host, Leonard Robinson.
And I'm Kat Doyle, your co-host. This podcast is made possible from the generous support of Jamie Lanier, the Varlamov Family Foundation, Georgia Interfaith Power and Light, St. Francis Services, and Semco Atlanta. Okay, Leonard, who do we have today?
We have John Mundell of Mundell & Associates and the director of the Laudato Si Action Platform. Welcome to Faith and Sustainability, John.
It's great to be here this morning. Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about yourself professionally and about the Action Platform.
Well, first of all, I'm located in Indianapolis, Indiana, and I've been an environmental consultant and earth science consultant for over 4 decades. I started out after college helping deal with the American pollution problem of contamination and finding clean water and restoring the land back to a little bit of what it was before the industrial age. So I've been busy doing that my whole career. I'm a scientist, an earth scientist, and an environmental engineer combined, kind of a unique kind of combination. And so I've been doing that. And over the last 30 years, that led me to form my own environmental company, but with a purpose. The company has been part of something called the Economy of Communion, which is a network of companies that were born within the Focolare movement, which is associated with the Catholic Church. And the business is all about trying to create a just and sustainable economy. And so that involves a social mission in addition to the earth and environmental mission. And so that's what I've done. And 3 years ago in 2022, now I was named the director of this Laudato Si Action Platform and by the Vatican. And there's an interesting story behind how that happened for an Indiana guy to happen to. But and that platform is the Vatican's effort to encourage Catholics and beyond to join in a journey of ecological conversion and do it in a spirit of a more integral ecology, which means not just become tree huggers, but to recognize that we're all connected and that we're connected to our brothers and sisters around the world and to the planet.
So you got this call to be part of the Vatican platform. Like, did the Pope pick up the phone and call you?
No, not quite, although maybe once removed there. I was asked by the Dicastery for promoting integral human development, Cardinal Michael Czerny and Sister Alessandra Smorelli, who are the heads of that group. They invited me to consider this because over the last several years, I helped in the development of this idea of a platform. The platform is really to help encourage people to set goals. And I say people, organizations, dioceses, parishes, religious congregations, businesses, universities, schools, all of those to set plans in place to make concrete progress. And so I got this call because of my involvement in helping develop this idea. And they were looking for someone with, I would say, project management experience, real world experience. How do you do this, right? If you've been doing it for multinationals, maybe you can do it for the church. So that's how I got tagged with this because of my work globally with the environment and with the Catholic Church.
What does it mean? What does working for the platform mean? Like, what's a day in the life of?
Yeah, well, that's a good question. First of all, this is the platform's kind of a digital platform in which we encourage all of these sectors to sign up to begin the process. The Pope now would call it a journey of reconciliation, a pilgrimage of reconciliation with the planet, to start this process of planning and setting goals. And so a day in the life of this is we have a rather small group, less than 10 worldwide, and we encourage, we have a website you can go to, www.laudatosiactionplatform.org, to sign up to begin this process. And so we have communication going all over the world 24 hours a day, interacting with all of these sectors. It could be the president of a Catholic university. It could be the principal of a Catholic grade school or the head of a religious congregation. And we are kind of like consultants to them to help encourage them and to give them a structure to plan and help move forward, and then enter their data into the platform so we can all see who's involved in this platform. Right now, we just surpassed 10,000 participating organizations on the platform this last month. That's 10,000 times a lot of people because they represent dioceses and parishes and universities. So we're touching somewhere on the order of 125 million people with the platform right now who are somehow involved in this process. So it's a crazy day to day. I may get a call at 4:30 in the morning from Asia saying, "Hey, can you answer a question?" or from California late at night. And we have people involved in the communications area, people involved in in helping this website work better. We have monthly webinars we schedule and host for all the sectors. That we've had somewhere between 400 and 1,000 people on the calls every month in about 4 or 5 languages to kind of begin this journey together to create this global community. So it's very interesting, one of the most challenging jobs I've ever had.
Well, that was great. That was a great description, and that was a great call to action. Made me want to sign up. We're already signed up, and we'll come back to the action platform and what you do. But now we want to talk a little bit about how did John use his faith, or how did faith intervene or impact your perspectives and your career, and things that you do.
We got 20 minutes, right? Okay, let's boil this down. And when you got an old guy with a gray beard, it takes a little while. But
tell me about
it. Exactly. Well, I grew up in both small town and rural Indiana, and my ancestors helped settle the state. They were farmers close to the land. So my family didn't have big Catholic roots. My mother became the first Catholic in the family, but a very close roots to the earth. And so I always had this sense of that the earth and what comes from it is sacred. Anyway, long story short, I had a brother who was going to become a Franciscan monk, and he was my confirmation sponsor. I took the names Francis Dominic I took 2 names for my confirmation. And of course, St. Francis and St. Dominic, they're the saints of the environment and the natural sciences. I guess there must have been something there from the very beginning that says you may follow this path, or someone may be watching over you. I don't know what happened. But anyway, another event, of course, happened on the first Earth Day, 1970. I was cleaning up trash along the rural roads near my small hometown, Frankfort, Indiana. And doing that day and seeing the concreteness of that just gave me this inspiration that this is a good thing to take care of the earth. And of course, at that time, it was the first Earth Day. There was an awareness growing. And so that planted some seeds that said, I love the earth. I want to do something. So I went to the University of Purdue University and started majoring in the geological sciences and environmental engineering kind of mixed together. And those gave me these incredible tools at that time to begin working actually in that area. While at the same time, on the faith side, I met my wife at the Newman Center at Purdue, singing in some music groups for Mass. And I became aware of this movement called the Focolare movement. It's a Catholic ecclesial movement in the Catholic Church, very focused on living your faith in everyday life. And for the next 30 or 40 years, that movement had shaped my vision of the world being all connected. We are brothers and sisters, because the charism in the Focolare movement is all about unity. Where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there am I in the midst of them. And that last prayer of Jesus before he died, Father, may they all be one. So that got mixed into my whole spiritual side, seeing that we're all connected worldwide, that we should be working toward this unity. And that mixed with the science put me on this track to be prepared for when the Pope's encyclical came out, Laudato Si, in 2015. I was like, oh my gosh, I've got all of this practical knowledge, but also this grounding in our faith and what it is said about the environment. And now with the Pope encouraging it, that led me down this path. So that's a real small snippet of what happened.
Back to the first Earth Day. Did that solar cooker work?
It did. Oh, you saw the picture. I at that time, I built a solar cooker. It was made out of cardboard and it had an aluminum foil kind of shield that was curved, and I entered it in a science fair project, and it won first place. And I went to the university to go to the regionals. So I cooked hot dogs and hamburgers on that solar cooker way back when, just at the beginning of solar power, right? So yeah, that was it's a great experience I had there.
That's real solar food, yes.
You've been doing this a long time. Is there a particular time in the 40 years that you had some aha moment that made you want to reach out and draw other people into the work you were doing?
Yeah, I think that, again, this notion of having some kind of Franciscan roots with this focolare kind of mixed in with there, what really gelled it, if you will, was the few years before Pope Francis actually came out with the encyclical, is that we started working in the Archdiocese of Indianapolis on the idea that we needed an ecological ministry. We knew that this was going to happen. And so the other thing I haven't told you about is this business that I started 30 years ago is within a group called the Economy of Communion. It's a network of businesses devoted to solving poverty issues and social justice issues around the globe. And so because of my involvement in that business side of being a social mission rather than just creating profits, I began inviting interns to come to our company from all over the world to learn about how to do environmental work and how to run a socially responsible business devoted to helping poverty. And that aha moment, what happened was in that time period, I was able to meet Pope John Paul II, who became aware of this idea of business and social responsibility through this focolare movement. And so I met the Pope. He encouraged us to move forward. I started this internship program with young people from all over the world coming to Indianapolis to spend 3 to 6 months learning about the planet, their faith, and social justice. And so that was the aha moment, seeing these young people come alive. That started in about 2004. Seeing these young people come alive and then going back to their countries and wanting to combine their faith with their desire to help the planet. So that was the first one. And then sprinkle a little water on with Pope Francis's encyclical Laudato Si, and the flowers started coming up.
It sounds like you are really invested in working with young people around the issue of both integral ecology, but also sustainability. Is there a particular challenge to working with young people or a difference than working with the rest?
Well, one thing I love about young people is they have a great passion, but they're just learning to start out how to work, how to show up on time to work every day, how to do their laundry. I'm getting them right at the beginning of their college age, so they've got this beautiful passion, but then it has to be translated into reality. And so that part of my job as the boss of the internship program was to give them that taste of reality. So there's always growth involved, there's always death and resurrection. There's always, they learn about themselves, but then they realize. And one thing I will say about this suffering that we have gone through trying to birth a new world, trying to raise awareness of ecological conversion and the need, that suffering is connected to our faith, right? And it doesn't mean that it's going to be easy. We have to say our yes every day. We see these little aha moments or these little resurrections that happen, but it's part and parcel of the game. And so I've had enough of those difficult experiences where you have to embrace the suffering, and for us in my own spirituality in the Focolare to, look at that Jesus on the cross and say, hey, I'm with you. I'll do my part too. That is it's something that you have to remind people, don't get frustrated. If you do get frustrated, just realize you're not alone. This is all about being in community, about trying to do this together. But the challenge with young people is giving them a reality check. It's all not nice flowers and, holding hands and singing, with the trees, although I love that part too. But it's about in many cases, starting with yourself, this ecological conversion that happens. You have to keep saying that yes every day, and I have to kind of overcome my own inertia. You can say, hey, I've always done it like this. Why change? So that's always a challenge, but they're great to work with. I was named a mentor by Pope Francis for his Economy of Francesco. It's a new economic initiative among young people. It was started about 3 years ago, and it's for young people to envision a new world economy. And so we had a couple years ago a meeting in Assisi where the Pope came and spoke to the young people and heard their ideas. And so there's a lot of energy now among the youth to begin to try to have an impact. And I'm super excited about that because I can translate this gray hair in my beard to some practical things that they should watch for sometimes.
So I have a question about that. You said every day you have to get up and you have to say yes. So have there been some stumbling blocks in this journey? A lot of us feel like, oh, he's doing great. It must have been so easy. But were there some stumbling blocks?
Absolutely, there was. And it has a lot to do with I will just say this, we have a beautiful church, we have the presence of God, the community, but we also have a church that is entrenched in how we've operated for decades and decades. And to have kind of reinvigorate the Franciscan part of our faith and become more aware of how truly connected our faith is with the environment and with our love for ecology. That's a big challenge, and it continues to be a challenge about how some of the hierarchy hasn't happened within the hierarchy, and as a consequence too within the faithful itself. We still have the awareness like, wait a minute, are you guys tree huggers? Or, what's this got to do with my Catholic faith? And it's that kind of, okay, let's kind of the roadmap. What does it say in the Bible? What have the saints said? What have the popes said? How does this connect with me on a visceral sense, not just an intellectual sense? And so that's a big challenge. And then on top of that, the other challenge is redirecting some of our financial resources to accomplish this. And so giving one example, in our own Archdiocese of Indianapolis, we were going to do some work a few years ago and wanted to do tree planting. Well, I found out there was no line item budget for creation care on the Archdiocese. And I asked the question, well, how can I donate to something and make sure it goes to that particular thing? I said, if you start a line item budget in the Archdiocesan budget for creation care, I'll donate to that. Oh yeah, we can do that. All of a sudden, there's a line item budget for creation care, and money started pouring into that budget because other people found out about this. So how structurally we support our activities, my own salary for doing this, or others around the world, it's still a learning process, and we're still struggling with this today.
Thank you so much for sharing. As we come to a close, I mean, I could do this all day, like Captain America says. How can people get a hold of you? They want to be a part of it.
Well, first of all, you can go to the website, www.laudatosiactionplatform.org, and sign up. Sign up as an individual or as a family. If you want to sign up as your parish, go ahead and do that. You can contact me on this particular email, J. Mundell, Mundell, at mundellassociates.com. I have a Vatican web address, but I don't want to impress everybody, okay? It may get lost.
Well, hey, John, again, thank you so much for the first of what I envisioned many dialogues we're going to have on this topic.
It's been nice having you guys together to talk to this morning. I hope we have a chance to do that again.
Well, to our listeners, stay connected with us on social media and share your journey with the hashtag faith and sustainability.
And don't forget to like and subscribe to our podcast. We'll look forward to meeting you next time
at the intersection of faith and sustainability.
The preceding podcast is a production of the Roman Catholic Archdiocese of Atlanta. Copyright 2025.